Real quick, before we get into anything else, like the video. If you want to prove to Washington who runs the DMV, and if you want the Ravens to beat the Commanders on Sunday, then go ahead and like the video. Don't jinx it. You're about to get hit with the intro, so hey, what else are you going to do? Go like it. Welcome into Ravens Rundown, everybody. I'm your host, Joey Petersen, and on today's show, we got two things for you. My keys to victory, also known as Joey's keys to victory, you know. And then my prediction for Sunday against Washington. And I'm going to also ask for your prediction. So let me know in the comment section when I ask you. Let's get into this one. We got Commanders in Baltimore for the third home game of the year. This one's going to be kicking off at 1 p.m. Eastern time. Ravens right now, a little bit surprising to me, open up as a 6.5-point favorite. The Commanders are on a roll, 4 straight wins. Jayden Daniels is looking phenomenal. The over-under right now is sitting at 51.5. I think that's about right. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. And that's all because who they got at quarterback, and that's where we start. You got to make Jayden uncomfortable, okay? You got to make Jayden uncomfortable. And I think that starts with keeping him in the pocket. I know that sounds weird to say, but I'll kind of explain it a little bit later because he can hurt you with his legs, okay? He really can. He's got 300 rush yards on the season so far, but 235 of those have come from scrambles. Only 65 of those have come from design runs. So you got to be able to keep him in the pocket. And you got to be able to do that with only 4 guys, okay? You got to only get him with 4 because this season, which is funny because I feel like this is rare for rookie quarterbacks, Jayden Daniels is actually better against the blitz than not against the blitz. So without blitz, he has a 96.5 passer rating, averages 7.9 yards per attempt, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and 2.9% of his completions are. He has a 2.9% completion percentage over expected. Okay, and then against the blitz, his rating's 122.7, 10 yards per attempt, 2 touchdowns, and has a completion percentage over expected of 11.7. So it all starts to keeping him in the pocket and doing that with 4 people, right? Not having to send extra guys and being able to sit guys back so he can't just pick you apart. But if you do get to him, right, and if he does escape out of the pocket, just make sure he goes left, right? This all starts with keeping him uncomfortable. And so far, in these last 3 games and pretty much every game he's played, he loves going to that right side, okay? These are his passing charts from his last 3 games, and you'll see these green dots are all pretty much to the right side of the field, right? Here's 3 weeks ago. This is 2 weeks ago. And then this next one, this was Sunday, okay? So if you flush him out, make him go left. Make him throw the left side of the field, okay? Get him uncomfortable because at the end of the day, he's still a rookie, okay? I know he's had a phenomenal start to a season. He has. It's been absolutely incredible what he's been able to do so far. But he's still a rookie, okay? He still is going to be able to make mistakes. He's not Superman. I promise you that. But he's had a great start. Leads the NFL in completion percentage, is 11th in yards, tied for 25th with touchdowns with 4, and is tied for 7th with interceptions. So make him look like a rookie because not many teams have been able to do that so far. You're going to hear mine later, but I would love to know what your score prediction is. You're about to get hit with a YouTube ad break, so to make that time go by faster, scroll down to the comment section and reply to this for me. This is going to be the pinned comment, so go ahead and do that right now. Coming up, I got 3 more keys to victory for you. So stick with me because I got 3 more ways that the Baltimore Ravens can win this game. But before we get into any of that, I got to give a shout out for today's video, for the sponsor of today's video. And that, of course, is Game Time. We are back in the bank on Saturday. And if you want to be in attendance, then I suggest you use Game Time to get your tickets. Game Time has the best seats and the lowest prices guaranteed. Game Time's the only place I go when I'm trying to get tickets to any college football or NFL game. Game Time actually has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. The tool highlights the best deals, including great and amazing deals, which are the highest value seats at the time. For some events, Game Time Picks also identifies a super deal, which is the best seat value in the venue. Guys, if you saw the atmosphere from 2 weeks ago, or I guess 10 days ago, when the Ravens played the Bills on Sunday Night Football, and you want to be in attendance for this Sunday against the Commanders, then you got to go to Game Time. Guys, look at this. You get to see the views from your seats before you even buy the ticket. Can't tell you how many times I've sat down on a seat and there's something blocking my way, and I'm like, okay, I wouldn't have spent all this money if I would have known this is what my view was going to be. Well, that doesn't happen with Game Time. I can promise you that. So head on over to Game Time and take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It is game time. So number 2, the second key to victory, I need Lamar to be on again. I do. And with what we saw from him on Sunday against Cincinnati, boy, was he on, right? Because he was hitting guys in stride, far down the field. A lot of intermediate passes, was fantastic in those areas. And, we really hadn't seen that yet this season. We've seen it a little bit, but not a ton. And, of course, we've been able to run the ball so well, so we haven't necessarily asked him. But against Cincinnati, you weren't able to run the ball. You're trailing in the second half. And against Cincinnati in that second half, that's supposed to say second half against Cincinnati. That's my fault, guys. But he was 17 for 24, 235 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions as well. And the great thing about it is this week, he's going to be facing a Commanders cornerback room. But guys, I'm not going to lie to you. It isn't that great. Benjamin St. Juste is the cornerback 1. He struggled. Emmanuel Forbes, he was their first-round pick from last season, had a terrible year last year, hasn't had a great year this year. Mike Sainristil, he's a rookie. He's still getting into it, but still, guys, this is a group that you can attack. And so far, they've struggled in a good amount of areas when it comes to pass defense. They've allowed 11 touchdowns through the air. That's first in the NFL. Their expected play added per pass is 5th in the NFL, plus 0.12. That means every time a team passes against them, their expected points added is 0.12. And their time to pressure is 2.7, which is 13th in the NFL. So it's not just their secondary that struggles. Their defensive line struggles with pressuring the quarterback as well. So Lamar should be able to sit back and be able to pick apart these guys all night long if he has to. But I don't know if he'll have to. We'll get into that in just a little bit. Guys, I want you to do a favor for me. And I want you to hit that subscribe button. If you're still watching right now and if you're not subscribed yet, I hope in these last, 6 minutes, I've convinced you that this is the best place to be. And the best part about it is it's not just daily videos, but we're live for every single game. They're a blast, and I want you, if this is your first time watching, to join us this Sunday against the Commanders. My third key is that the run defense keeps it rolling. And yes, I've got Travis Jones on that picture because he's been phenomenal. But it's going to be a fun matchup. It's going to be a clash of giants, a clash of titans, because this run defense is the best in the league. But also, Washington knows how to run the football. Yards per game. This Ravens defense is first in the NFL, only letting up 60.4. This Commanders offense, second in the NFL with 178.4. Yards per game. This Ravens defense, first in the NFL with 3.1. Or excuse me, that should be yards per carry. And then the Commanders defense, 5.3 yards per carry. That's fourth in the NFL. Rushes to 10 plus yards. The Ravens have only let up 3. That's first. The Commanders have 25. That's tied for first. Rushing yards over expected per attempt. The Ravens are minus 0.90. That means rushing yards per attempt, opponents have averaged almost less than a yard than they're expected. And the Commanders are plus 1.3. That's fourth. Now for yards before contact per attempt, the Ravens are third with 0.74 yards, less than a yard. They average a hit in the running back. And the Commanders' offense is 2.23. That's good enough for fifth in the NFL. And they got a really good guy toting the rock, too. Brian Robinson Jr. has been fantastic through this season. 73 carries, 325 yards, 4.5 yards per carry, and 5 touchdowns as well. And so you got to take that part away. You got to take him away. You got to take Jayden running the ball away as well. Because when their running game is really good and you can't just key in on Jayden Daniels and taking away guys like Terry McLaurin, they do really well. But what I keep coming back to is rookies historically struggle when they just have to sit there and pick you apart. Now, will Jayden Daniels be the same? We'll see. Let's take away the run and let's find out. My last key to victory, let's keep it with the running, and that's get Henry going again, okay? And I'm not going to sit here and tell you he was awful against Cincinnati, but he wasn't great. If you take away that big overtime run and the overtime carries that he had, and you just look at in regulation time, in 4 quarters, 11 carries for 30 yards. That's like, what, 2.8 yards per carry, his lowest yardage and yards per carry in 2024. And I know you're passing the ball a lot in that fourth quarter because you're down, but still, yards per carry is yards per carry. One big thing I'm looking at in this matchup is yards before contact per attempt. I think that's a big stat to look at because right now, Washington is the 31st, the second worst team defensively in yards before contact per attempt. They're letting up 2.24 yards before one of their defenders even hits the opposing team's running back. And the Ravens are number 1 in the NFL in yards before contact per attempt at 2.97. And if you look at these 3 games, against Kansas City, against Las Vegas, and against Buffalo, those 3 games rank in the top of the NFL in games, right? Not just teams. In the 154 games played, the Ravens have 3 in the top 17 when it comes to yards before contact per attempt. You had 3.54 against Kansas City, 2.91 against Las Vegas, and the second highest game rated of yards before contact per attempt, 5.57 against Buffalo. And Lamar proved Sunday he can win a game with his arm. And we knew that. We didn't necessarily need that proven, but now we know for sure, right? But I don't care about that because it's still better for this team to get Derrick Henry going. I do care. It's great, but if you can get Henry going and if you can get him running the football and if you can be dynamic, pounding the rock, then that's great. We don't need Lamar to go win us games, okay? So that's what I'm looking at. Get Henry the ball and get him going early. Do you guys think Henry keeps the touchdown streak alive? He's had one in every single game so far. Do you think he keeps it going? If so, type Y for yes. If you don't think so, type N for no. It's score prediction time, and I got us hitting the over by a pretty wide margin, and I have the Baltimore Ravens winning. I think at the end of the day, your Jimmies and Joes are better than their Jimmies and Joes, okay? I think this is the first time this year that Jayden Daniels is going to go up against an elite front 7, and I think that might struggle a little bit. I don't think they're going to be able to run the football at all, and hopefully this pass defense can be able to sit back and not let him pick them apart. That might be asking a lot of them, though. But they don't have a good defense. I think we were up the score. I think Henry's able to pound the rock. So that's mine. But you guys let me know yours down below. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you're still here and you haven't already, I don't know what else I can say. You liked the video, so hit that subscribe button.